Greetings, friends. It's me, Patricia Cori, coming to you with part two of an earlier Red Pill report called Get Your House Together. Kind of should have been named Get Your Shit Together, and today is Get Your Mind Right. So here we go. Sorry for the delay, but here it is. Get Your Mind Right, a Red Pill report from Patricia Cori. Stay tuned. Okay, so I am reminded of the magician, the one that performs on stage I'm talking about, and how they redirect your vision to a lot of silly, fancy moves over here, while the real trick is over here, but you're too busy looking there to notice. And this defines the world we live in now, the crazy, unpleasant at the moment world that we are trying to cope with and get our minds around. This insane, dystopian, grotesque magician's show being played across the world. And I thought that analogy was really important because we're going to be talking today, I'm going to be talking because it's a rant about getting your mind right so that you can see exactly what's going on and that you can stay tethered in your center, moving forward, not falling victim to the theater, to the drama, to the magician's illusion, so that you can come out of this unscathed. So, needless to say, I can't talk about Somehow I've managed to stay afloat on YouTube for the moment, but I'm careful not to talk about the big snake bite. But it's very interesting to me to see the hysteria that's unfolding around Afghanistan and the humanitarian screams for these poor people who are, one of the reports I just read was that the Taliban are going door to door to see who's there, and the inference is that they're going to either pull people out or kill them on the spot. And I thought, gee, it's funny though that there's not any media coverage about the government, our governments going door to door. I mean, I think they've pulled this back for the time being in the US and asking or demanding that people get their snake bite. How funny is it that that isn't something that people are talking about or feeling bad about or concerned about, right? I mean, our poor brothers and sisters in Australia are in deep, deep doo-doo, and it's getting tighter and tighter, and I just couldn't help but notice, sorry for the background sounds, I live on a country road, and for some reason the farmers love to take a shortcut up my little country road to get to the other side of the hill. So every so often I've got truck noise, but it's okay. It's only part of the day. Right. So there's a new emergency and new lockdowns and more draconian measures around the time that this so-called maneuver, accident, call it what you want, what came down in Afghanistan 2 days ago, when Joe was on vacation, and so was his mouthpiece, Psaki. It's like very convenient they were both on vacation when they decided to pull the troops out of Afghanistan and leave behind 80 billion, read my lips, dollars worth of arms, which I saw in a beautiful picture all neatly stacked in a Taliban court. And just go, leaving behind so many people, so many U.S. and other Western representatives are stuck there, fearful for their lives. We saw the horrific pictures of people hanging off the jet. I mean, does that look staged to you? You've got the swarms of people on the tarmac. By the way, let me interject, call me a cynic. You've got swarms of people on the tarmac running, some of them laughing. I don't know if you noticed that, but if you haven't, you got to look at that picture again. Some of the guys in the front are laughing. One of them, rather close to the camera, is laughing as he runs along while the jet is getting ready to take off. Military, huge jet. You've got people crawling up on a part of the plane that has something resembling a space where they could sit or stand. And in the next frame or two, you see the plane in the sky and bodies, too, falling to the ground. I'd love to know how a human body could withstand the pressure that it takes to get a plane of that magnitude off the ground into the air, so high up in the air that the pressure would have most likely crushed someone. And yet they managed to cling on until finally they can cling no more and then fall to the ground. Very reminiscent of the Twin Tower images of people falling out the windows, jumping out the window. I just want you to consider that as we look at our world crumbling, we can't stop questioning, we mustn't stop questioning everything that we're being shown. For starters, if it's the mainstream media, don't trust it. I think that that's an oxymoron to even have to say that, but we still watch aghast as these dramas are shown to us. And the bottom line here is, folks, China is getting ready to move right on in to Afghanistan. This is pre-planned New World Order / Communist China plan to make America look even weaker. And that's Joe's mission. They want to take down the U.S. military and then the United States, right? So you have this picture where this thing is fumbled. America's out. China moves in. Watch what happens next. Never forgetting that Afghanistan is one of the richest places in minerals. I mean, the mountains are just full of the most extraordinary minerals. And of course, let us not forget the opium fields, the finest, best, high quality and quantity opium in the world is produced in Afghanistan. If you haven't seen the photos, go online and see if you can find the image of the soldier, a U.S. soldier who's got his rifle pointed down at two Afghanis who are picking the buds in the opium field. You know, I was impressed that Cliff High, who is somebody that's just recently come into my consciousness, called this time exactly, precisely. I don't endorse everything he says, but he did say that between the 14th and the 18th, there was going to be a big drama, get prepared for it. And then this unfolded. And meanwhile, in the same time that this is happening, we have these extreme new lockdowns, because you're not supposed to know anything about the political arena unless they feed it to you, unless they want you to know it. So you keep your mind focused on whether or not you've had your vase, whether or not your friend or parent or child has had the vase, or 2, or now 3. Don't say a word. Hate everyone who opposes your view, and keep your mind in this little bandwidth where all you think about is the vase or non-vase. To be vased or not to be vased? That is the question. Sorry, I'm adjusting the light here. There we go. I call this getting your mind right because there's no more room now. There is no more time for you to be on the fence here. Hopefully, most of you who are hearing this message have not taken the snake bite. Because I think it's severe what's going to happen to the people who have. And I just want to reiterate today on Facebook, these people, They keep telling me they're gonna throw away my books or they're gonna burn all my books because they hate me for saying or suggesting that it is important to protect yourself. And you get the subtext for that statement. And so they're going to burn my books. They're going to throw away my books. It's like, oh, okay, you're going to cancel me as a human being and all my body of work because I don't agree with you, or because I want you dead because I don't agree in the vase, or whatever has got your brain twisted to the point where you are incensed, insane, furious. It's not fear anymore. Have you noticed the transition? In the beginning, everybody was in this extreme fear, and now everybody's in this extreme rage. Please tell me you've noticed how this has shifted, how it's been architecturally reproportioned and designed to shift people into rage and separation and not so much fear anymore. Not that we have to split hairs. I mean, there's all lower energy. But when people are wearing, I've been V'd capes and tattooing their arms. I was V'd by Pfizer on June 7th. All I can say is there is a derangement going on. It's to get you to the point where you would blindly accept this is already a form of derangement, in my humble opinion. But now that it's in you, you're getting crazier and crazier. And we haven't seen anything yet. So when I say get your mind right, here's what I mean. I've talked about prepping, or again, I'm no hellacious prepper, but just to be aware of what you need to do to be prepared and safe as you can be. I don't like the word safe. So, but what I mean is to know that if shit comes down, you don't have to go into it, at least not for a while. All right. Number one. Number two, we need to get over the fact that people are dismissing and just erasing. It's like erasing. I have had a lot of people who are simply erasing me as if I never existed, which is fine. I've got a lot of other people who love me to death and I love back. So that's not my point. The point is, it's time to bid these people farewell, because they may never be able to make it back, because this graphene AI that's in them is rapidly deteriorating their organs, their mind, the blood cells. It is hellacious. It is reality. We're going to have to deal with a lot in the next few years, but particularly the next few months, because we know that these people are coming up to the term when things start to get wacky in their body. That said, so many people are just dropping dead. I just saw another video of a woman who was hysterically crying, who said her daughter just got jabbed in Las Vegas yesterday, and 5 hours later she was dropped dead. Young girl in her 20s. I don't know what their contract is, but I know mine. So I will be, as much as possible, still trying to help these people when they recognize what they've done, because they're still in the denial, hysteria, I hate you, you want me dead mode. Those that haven't had an immediate injury or seen somebody they love die. But when the jig is up, 6-8 months from when they took that, there's going to be a whole lot of trouble on planet Earth. More. So get your mind right. Never before, never like now, at least not in any life that we've known, lifetime that we've known, has it been so important that you know exactly who you are, that you recognize that you are a sovereign being, and that your soul determined this journey to begin with. You hear me say this all the time. Let me reiterate it. You knew when you were coming in. You decided it. You chose the parents. And as I've always quipped, boy, didn't really have a good father. I guess I really had some karma to work out, but I did. We did, right? And you know when you're going out. And if you can help people think about that, because obviously if you even touch the Vaz discussion, it's war. But if you can help anyone think about that, the quest of the soul's journey through the tunnel of 3D life on Earth, then perhaps, just perhaps, you can give them thought about the fact that they need to be thinking about their immortality and what comes next. Because a lot of them are going to have to check out. I'm sorry to say this. It's heartbreaking to me. But it is my understanding, and could be wrong, love to be wrong, I want to be wrong, please let me be wrong, that around 6 to 8 months from the time you had that second bite, all hell is going to break loose. And we, the ones who are refusing, are going to have to be dealing with what that means. I don't really have a clear idea right now what it means as far as, for example, all these people that are bitten and being around them and the transfer of the graphene and the cooties, let's call them cooties just to be silly. Do they jump? What kind of contact has them leaping into you? I mean, a lot of people are putting information about these things can actually jump. And the nano, I'm talking about the bots, the nano, the whole system. And what world will we be in? And how do we perceive our role in it? It's time. We're here. Time to get our heads together. And mine, I think, is from the point of view of I'm doing the best I can to take care of me and my house and my animals and the people I love through communication, through whatever support I can give, being in a remote communication situation, and to stay absolutely focused despite it all, because you all know I'm talking out here. I'm a voice. But despite it all, stay completely focused on my next day, my next step, my next project, my dreams. I'm not going down. Not without a fight. So as I see people becoming extremely depressed, which is very worrisome, and suicidal and angry and all these lower emotions, just remember it's all a theater. The Afghanistan situation is a theater. By the way, now would be an excellent time for the white hats to appear, would you think? Hopefully this event that's taken place has the military separatists talking to each other, because this is where America becomes a third world or a second world power. And if that happens, everything falls. So get your mind right is my message today. I've always been telling you to try to fade out all of the ridiculous information that's coming out. And perhaps right now, even though we loathe it, it might be a good time to be looking at the mainstream media, because you look at it knowing they're giving us information which is untrue for a purpose that we need to understand. And meanwhile, all the noise and the alternative, give me a break. I keep hearing the absurd times n, absurd to the Twilight Zone information that I dismiss more and more voices I find absolutely untrustworthy. But in the end, let's pay attention. Let's pay attention to what the powers are putting out, the misdirect, the magician's hand over here, so that maybe we can know that, well, they think we're looking over here. because their messengers are making us look over here. But while we're pretending to look over here, let's look over there. What is behind this? And what can we do about it? I know a lot of people feel hopeless right now. I don't. It's going to be rough and tough. And you're going to have, as the Italians say, coglioni, to get through it unscathed. But you've taken a first step if you've decided not, again, my humble opinion, you have taken a first step if you've decided to question being part of an experiment that has not been approved, that is draconian, drastic. The numbers are not being reported, but the deaths are piling up, no pun intended. The injuries are horrific. We're all seeing the images. The truth is coming out here. Get your mind right. Be strong. And if your parents and family dismiss you, I mean, erase you, because they're being told to. The propaganda is shun anyone who doesn't obey. I like being shunned. Shun away. And I will stand tall with all of you who have the balls and the courage and the vision to stand in your power no matter what. Stand in your integrity, in your sovereignty, in your beauty, in your humanness. Because I'm not going down as an AI, Borg, whatever you would call, cyborg, Borg. That is not going to happen on my watch. So get your mind right. Decide who you are. Probably you think you really already know, but this is an opportunity to get even clearer about who you are, what you came here to do, what you will accept or not, because your mind is clear. And you are the master of your destiny. Don't let anybody fool you or convince you otherwise. Thanks for listening. I guess this is kind of a rant, but I'm trying to be peaceful about it. Take care, guys. I'll talk to you soon. This is Patricia Cori, signing out.